Welcome to Integrate Podcast. I'm your main host, Skyline, and today I'm joined by these lovely ladies.
Hi, it's Anna.
The White Rabbit.
Handles got White Rabbit popsicle. Go with the program. Before we get started, fuck Valentine's Day, DTN for life.
All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? It's Q from the Blasian Badass podcast. It's always good to be here. And our topic tonight.
Our topic tonight is about love. Where to find it.
I don't know
What was like the most memorable gift or gesture either you ever did or you ever received from anyone?
Y'all. So I think this was like 2 years ago. My ex of like 4 years. Literally the cutest fucking shit. He got me custom M&Ms with our picture.
Oh, that is cute.
That's a thing?
That's cute. Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Damn.
I opened it up and I was like, why do these look different? I looked at the picture of us.
That is cute. That really is cute.
That's different. I didn't even know you could do that. I'd probably do that on like Skittles or something and just put it on top of their body and just eat off of it.
Taste the rainbow, okay? Taste the rainbow.
Follow the trail. That's what I would do. Shit. Like, all right. So for me, right, it's not like a memorable gesture, but there is something that I did that like, okay, if you want to do this right here, this will make them remember you for the rest of their life, right? So this one girl, she remembered me because of a Valentine dance, right? She asked me out to a Valentine dance, right? And then I, in her words, I'm going to say her words, I broke up with her a week before Valentine's.
Oh, you were one of those? Right? Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
Oh, it gets better. Hold up, right? So her friends thought I broke up with her on Valentine's because I was too cheap and didn't want to like take her out to go out to the Valentine dance or a Valentine date, right? So obviously, even a week before Valentine's, like they all noticed that I wasn't in school anymore and stuff like that. It's because my fucking family was moving out of state. Ooh. That's why I couldn't go to the Valentine's dance. And I didn't break up with her. She asked me to the school dance. Somehow she took it as she was my girlfriend. This is in middle school, by the way. I forgot to tell you that part, right? So apparently she had like this long crush on me for like a while whatever long it was during school, right? And so I re-met this girl, right? I think like a few years later, give or take, and I re-met her at my fucking cousin's house, right? And now we're all grown adults, right? We're probably in our like early 20s, like, and she asked me if I remember who she was. I said no, and then she's like, "You broke up with me before Valentine's Day." I was like, what? I was confused, and she's like, "Yeah." It's like, you broke up with me like a week before Valentine's. It's like we used to live in Providence, Rhode Island, and then I was like, Providence, Rhode Island. Wait, I was like in middle school, and she goes, "Yeah, that's when you broke up with me." I was like, "Wait, I wasn't dating in middle school." She's like, "No, we weren't dating." She's like, "I just asked you out to the dance, and then you broke up with me, and a Valentine's like basically dance." I was like, "You remember that?" And she goes, "Yeah, it scarred me for life." I was like, "Oh shit."
You're evil. A week before Valentine's.
Yeah, you're one of those.
I was moving out of state. What was I supposed to do?
You could have at least told her.
Find a way back.
We'll still celebrate together.
Right?
You know?
You're evil. That is so evil.
I didn't break up. But the thing is that I didn't break up with her. I just told her I couldn't make it. I told her I couldn't make it, and I like, you know, it's because I'm moving out of state, so I can't make it to the school dance.
Okay, wait. Did you know that she thought that you guys were like boyfriend and girlfriend, or she assumed, or not?
When she asked me in front of everyone, and we were all like planning out like, let's all go together. And then she's like, "Hey, yeah, it's like, you coming to the Valentine's dance too?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "You want to go with me?" I was like, I was confused.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, I just said that we're all going, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I guess to her, like in her mind, like it kind of amplified, if that makes sense, because she has a crush on me, so she kind of like fantasized everything.
Oh wow.
And because in middle school, us guys, we don't think about love and stuff like that. We think about fucking Fortnite skins and fucking Call of Duty skins and shit like that.
Good point. You're definitely not thinking about love. You might be thinking about sex, but not about love.
Yeah.
In
middle school.
She remembered me from middle school all the way to like till she saw me, and like, yeah. So like that's a memorable gesture, guys. So if you break up with a girl before Valentine's, just to save money, no, just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
They'll remember you for the rest of their life.
Wow.
They'll remember you for the rest of their life. So that's the most memorable thing that I did that I didn't even know I was doing. It's like walking into a relationship. I didn't know I was in a relationship. Because everyone kept saying that's like, oh, why'd you broke up with her? And like the way they said it, it was like, I was dating someone? Like, I didn't even know I was dating someone. Who did I break up with? Yeah, who did I break up with? I just told her I couldn't make it to the dance. I don't know how that somehow took it as like, oh, like you're dating her now.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what? Yep. That's for me. Q, what you got?
Okay, well, mine's kind of bad. It's kind of like, where mine just like horrible. First of all, for everybody out there,
it says memorable.
It is. It's memorable. But first of all, for everybody out there, I'm really not like a fan of Valentine's Day. But what happened was there is one time this guy, he went, like the couples rings and everything, and he wanted to like give me like these. He did wanted to give me these couples rings, like so we kind of like solidify, make it kind of public that we're together. And
is it the same concept as a promise?
Yeah, ring? It is. It's like, yeah. So like couples rings, just basically it's a promise saying you're gonna, well, it's more like, just like you've been together and you're really like, you're still going to be together. It is like a promise kind of. And so he did. And I said, no, I didn't want the rings because I didn't want it. Like I didn't want to stay together. So I refused the rings. It was really bad. It was on Valentine's Day. So.
You called me a dick for breaking up with my middle school girl, but I didn't even date her.
I know, man.
And you straight up rejected and broke up with an actual relationship.
He wanted more than I could give. I was not, and I was like, I'm not going to stay in this if you want more than what I can give you now. That's too much commitment for me. So.
Who's the dick now?
At least I was honest.
I
was honest, and I didn't like, lead him on when he wanted more, like a heavier commitment. I just couldn't do it. I was just not in the headspace. Definitely not thinking about long term.
The most memorable thing was you guys broke up with someone.
Yeah.
No, I didn't break up. I didn't even know I was dating her. You broke up with
the girl you didn't know you had. The girlfriend you knew you didn't have. You didn't know you had. You're right. That's right, Anna.
I didn't even know I was in a relationship.
Most memorable was a breakup on Valentine's Day.
Right. We're not as like freaking miss like melt in your mouth, not in your hands, fucking M&M.
I love Anna's. Like hers is great, but like
hers is all sweet and shit. Like
last year Valentine's Day.
Yep. And I like otherwise all the Valentine's Days are always cliche, the flowers, the dates, hotel rooms, whatever. It's typical stuff. But yeah, that was my most memorable. Was the dumping.
Have you guys ever like done like the hotel with flowers and shit?
Yeah.
Like rose petals?
I'm just gonna hotel sex hit different. Oh.
It does, but like
there's some about especially when you set it up, you set that mood, and you know what I'm saying? There's something different for real.
I don't like that love type shit. I don't know. I'm weird.
You know why it hits different for me, at least? I don't know about the girl, but apparently you girls said that it does. For me, it's like I don't have to clean up after. I can make that whole hotel room into a fucking murder scene.
Ew.
Destroy the whole entire place, right? Only to know I don't have to clean this shit after I'm done. It's just gonna I could ruin the bed sheets. I could just make a mess, throw fucking food all over the place, shit like that. And then
the poor house.
Yeah, and then I just leave a big, like maybe $20 or $40 tip for the house cleaner and just
gosh,
walk away.
disgusting.
What?
To know that.
And then and then for the girl,
the room service person, black.
I know.
What? I think that's why it hits different. Because for me, you know, if I have to if I'm making a mess inside of my room or something, I have to think to myself like, "Fuck, I gotta clean this up after."
That's true.
Like, maybe that's why it's for me. And then the other part why I think it hits different is because of it's the fact that they think that you can't be heard anywhere else. Like, you know, it's like inside of I don't have that problem for my apartment because it's like obviously, but like when people go to say if they live with their roommate or their parents still or whatever, right? They have to worry about their parents might have to hear or something like that.
That's true.
Know? So, but in a hotel, it's like they're far away from anyone else. And if the fucking stranger next to you hear you moaning, it's like, well, you know, they probably are doing the same shit. So you're just battling moaning sounds out.
True. You don't really care about who's in the next room.
Yeah, exactly. Because of because we were done during one of our rounds one time, and then we decided to just go up next to the wall and just bang on it and make fake moaning noises just to bother our neighbor at a hotel once. Because we were like, damn, we were done in 15 minutes.
They didn't call on you?
It's okay, well,
call security.
No,
excuse
they
me.
were doing the same thing.
Could you guys just take it down a little bit off the wall?
No, it was too funny because we kept hearing the words that they said to each other, and me and her don't use words really. We just make sounds, not words. And we're over there we're over there just imitating half of the stuff they said, just back to them so they can hear it. And it's like, and I was like, yeah, is that all you got? No. Shit like that. And then my girl, at the time, she's like, da, finish him.
I'm fucking dead.
Because we were already done. So we were just on the wall.
You guys were done, but had a little too much extra energy then. To have to go there. What happened to the cuddling moments of you're dead?
No, the whole time. Well, because me and her was both having sex at the same time as the
couple next to you,
the neighbor. Yeah, the couple next to me, and then but we just finished a lot faster. And then, but for them, it's like we started to actually start to hear what they were saying after. So somehow we channeled it out, and then we just started laughing because we were just laying in bed looking at each other like who the fuck says that shit? He's like, oh, you're not ready for this. And it was like that. I was like, what the fuck? and then we started grabbing the bed head and just started pretending that we were still going at it too, just to make it with the. And we were just pretending fake sounds that we weren't saying, and we just said it as close to the wall as possible so they can hear us. You know the fucked up thing is about the story I just told you? That was at a Disney resort.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just
kids.
think about the people on the other side of you.
The poor kids are out at the park right now. This is the parents' fun time. And
what about the family on the other side, in the other room on the other side? There's probably somebody else I could hear you guys.
They might be at the park.
Yeah, the other
side.
The other side. Yeah, oh my God. Oh, I kind of feel bad. I didn't think, well, actually, maybe there wasn't.
But then,
there.
who cares? It's done.
Yeah.
I heard you guys and was like, yeah, I'm not staying for this.
If there are kids in the other room, they're definitely like, oh my gosh, hurry up, listen. They might have been recording it.
God, you hear that?
Created a TikTok or something.
They're probably like, the guy's he sounds funny. I was like, yo, listen, kid, I can explain. I'm trying to imitate them, all right? Moving along now. Other than home or work, where would you most likely find single people?
In the gym.
On Valentine's Day.
In the gym.
Shit, you know what the fuck? You read my answer?
You know why? Because I'll be in the gym too. That's why.
Yeah, because yeah, it's like a friend of mine. She was telling me that like that was like she read out my question, and she was like telling me that like Jim. I was like, really? And then she's like, yeah. She's like, why are you struggling? Because you're single. You should know where you find most of the single people. And I was like, well, I would have never guessed the gym.
Yes, the gym.
Like I would think like maybe a bar. They're just there, just another day for them, like alcoholics.
Yep, definitely a bar, but definitely the gym.
For me, the reason why I said I would surprise you girls is that like I always have like a Valentine's like date or slash somewhat celebration like every year. So even if I'm single, right, I still go and celebrate.
Really?
And yeah. So what I do for Valentine's is that I take out my mom to dinner. I always take out my mom to dinner, buy her flowers like every fucking year. And like I don't know, it's just like I kind of just do that because my mom was like a single mother, so she doesn't have like a guy always buys her like what I mean, or always with a guy to even buy her stuff like that. So I always take her out instead, and then buy her dinner because she doesn't know that it's like a couple things. She just think it's to celebrate love that day. So to her, she just take it as like her son loves her that day, or whoever. Yeah, so I always take out my mom like it. But the funny thing is, since we're talking about that, right? There was this Valentine that was on a Saturday one day, right? And like this girl that I was like kind of like seeing, but I wasn't really dating. Like we both have that Saturday off, and I was like thinking like, oh shit, that's cool. Like let's go out, let's just do something together, right? So apparently I like her, as you could tell, but this is when I found out that she doesn't really feel the same, right? Even though we were like friends with benefits. And she asked me, she's like, oh, can we just go out on Sunday instead? I was like, oh, okay, sure. So that Saturday, I didn't do anything that day or whatever. It was just a casual day. I just waited for her to like come with me on Sunday. So we went out on Sunday and stuff like that. And in the middle of like us going out, and I took her out to dinner, and I brought her to like David Buster's and all that stuff, right? Just to have fun that whole day on a Sunday. I saw that like I saw her like her Instagram story, and then she wrote basically like what she did on that Saturday, right? And then she was out doing almost the same thing as what I was doing, and I was like, that's kind of weird because of like why is she posting up all these pictures? And she said that she was busy on Saturday. So then I looked at it, and I'm just and then she sees me staring into her story, right? And then she just looks at me and she goes, oh, this is a horrible way for you to find out. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And then she's like, and she started apologizing. And at first, I didn't get what's going on. And then when I finally figured it out in the middle of her apologizing, I was like, wait, are you telling me I'm the side babe because you celebrated Valentine's after Valentine's with me? I think, is this what's going on right now? And she goes, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to tell you. And I was like, damn. Well, the food looks great.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go home. I just told like that. So I found out I was a side bae because of the fact that we went out to go celebrate after Valentine's Day, even though we had it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a hard way to find out, for sure.
Wait, what?
Q, how would I frame out that question? The one that you want to ask, cliche couple.
Well, I'd probably just say, what are the pressures like, or what do we experience as a result of like what you see on social media of what you have to do on Valentine's Day, or the type of relationship you have to have? Like, how does like what we see on social media with couples or with relationships affect our relationships in real life? That's probably the better way to ask it, So.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep what you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably, that's probably the best way to say it. And I say it because it's like, what do we see? Like, we see on social media a ton of stuff, and then it makes you want to desire all these different things that possibly you may never have, right? But that's kind of the drive of social, right? You desire things you want, so you follow them. Yeah. Or, or you support them. So that's kind of the way I'd frame it. But yeah, I don't know who wants to jump in on that, but Yeah, that's just stuff I think about every time I'm on social. There's pressure.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Honestly, 2021 taught me not to give a fuck, so I really don't give a fuck.
It's true. It's a good point. 2021 really did, right? That's a good year to say it too.
I mean, honestly,
I started second guessing what year it was for a second. When she said that, I was like, wait, what year are we at?
2022 taught me not to give a fuck. Like, I want a relationship, right? Well, no, actually not a relationship. I feel like it's more of like a situationship. Or like, no label type thing. I just want somebody to entertain me.
I think that's another part. Like that's just, like the labels make it makes it like, sometimes labels honestly make it complicated, but that's what makes it cliche too. So like, what if you do have like a situationship, does it mean that you don't have anything legit? Like, no, it's legit. It's just not, you may not just say this, my boyfriend or my girlfriend or whatever. You just may be like, this is whoever this is, and you guys know what you got. You know what I'm saying? It could be that.
So for me, like the way you just described it was like, sometimes I get that way. Like I want someone just to like be romantic with, but like almost like I can be with them when I can. Because the problem is that the problem I'm facing is that like I don't have enough time to give unless that person is like living with me. Yeah, if that makes sense. And that's the only time I can give that is available, because of the fact that my lifestyle currently right now is too much. But to think about that, like to just have the person either move in with you right away, that is so extreme to ask of someone, or like to find someone who's like that. Like, to meet a person and they're like able to move in with you or go anywhere with you, like if you were to like travel out. But it's because I don't have a lot of time. It's like I would rather, like, I would want to find a person who's understandable and understand that like I can only give you this much. So like when I feel like being romantic, I guess you can kind of say, it's like I need that person with me, and that they can understand that like that's sufficient, because that's all he has and stuff like that, and don't desire too much of me and stuff like that. So like and the title won't bother them and stuff like that. That makes sense. I said stuff.
I have a question.
Yeah, go.
Do you guys feel weird talking to like multiple people at once?
What? That? Because Kay's like the king of that. Like Kay's always talking to multiple people, aren't you?
Yeah, I have to though. I have to. Like our guest today, who called out. She's a random stranger.
Like no, like was talking, like flirting.
What?
Well, no, it leads to that, cause like with girls, like I'm not trying to be conceited or anything like that, but like with girls, sometimes they forget that I'm talking about the show. Like I'm trying to get new people onto the show and stuff like that. So I'm just like promoting and talking about like, the podcast itself and stuff like that. And then somehow girls take it as like, I don't know how, like, oh, he's hitting on me. Or like they think I'm flirting, and then they'll start to flirt. And then it snowballs and stuff like that. Snowballs kind of. But even prior before the podcast, I talked to a lot of people. See, I always say people because people just look at me and always think like it's a lot of girls. It's not. It's a lot of people. Because of like, I talk to even guys too. Like I help out other boys with their problems and stuff like that. But and kind of like life coach, or like kind of give them like my thoughts and opinions on things, and then to help people make better choices. But for girls, it's the same. I talk to a lot of girls too. Like when they're facing like situations and stuff like that, I kind of like help them see things from a different view and stuff like that. But obviously, as you can tell, for the females, their feelings kind of change towards me. Once I open up and they see more about me, they start to like, etc. Like, and then they kind of just like, how do I say this? Slowly hint to like start to flirt with me, subtle flirtation instead. So, but then I will get to this point where it's like I would have 6 or 7 girls, give or take. 6 or 7 girls usually are blowing up my phone, talking to me, and then like they're like telling me information or like or more things about them, and like kind of the get to know phase is like almost like getting to know some girls at once. And when I try to explain to people that like the reset button and having to go back and redate, like people really don't fucking understand when I said it's really fucking annoying. It's really annoying to go back, ask the same fucking questions over and over. What's your fucking favorite color?
So I saw somebody do a post about that on TikTok. He said the same thing.
Tell me your coffee. Yeah, tell me your coffee order so I can fuck it up. Tell you know, it's like that. It's like, oh, okay, like, do you like this restaurant? Okay, do you drink? Okay, I gotta memorize who drink, who doesn't. You know, when I'm talking to them, and then like, I had to memorize this, like, oh, your birthday is around this time, and then like you have to like, it's the reset button of getting to know a person over and over and over, and it's like, I wouldn't say that it's forceful, but I will say that like it's almost like annoying in a way.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Because of like you want to suss them out, you want to feel them out, so you can weave out the bad ones and give your attentions to the good ones. So you ask them basic questions and stuff like that. You know, but to have to do that, and for you girls, it's kind of simple because they come to you. But for me, it's like for guys, almost for most guys at least, it's like it's harder for us because of the fact that we have to. Unless you have good communication skills and you know how to hold a conversation, it is hard for us to get girls to talk. Like we get guys walk into dry walls all the fucking time. We have the driest conversations. Like, I might talk to a lot of girls, but believe me, some of them are boring as fuck. I have a lot of girls who are so boring as fuck that they're as dry as fuck. I just bet you they even fucking like boring as fucking bed too, or have no personality once I take them out. Like, you just look good, you're pretty, but you probably fuck pretty too. If you don't know what fuck pretty is, right? Fuck pretty is basically, it's like this girl thinks she looks so good that all she has to do is lay there, and if she has to do anything, she feels as if like there's a camera on her at all times. It's like, why are you doing, like, what do you think, I'm recording you or something? Just fuck naturally. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, but like, it's dry as fuck. And if for us guys to have to constantly over and over and over try to get the girl to open up, to gather information about them, and then weave out the bad ones and stuff like that over and over, for me, I can't stand it. That's why I gave up on it, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, give or take. Honestly, I gave up trying to get to know people. Now I just do this thing where it's like, I'm going to show you a little bit of me, or I present you some of me, or because most of the time people had already heard things about me. I'm going to show you this. This is what I have. This is what I have to offer. It's not everything, but it's the basic structure of who I am, right? And then if the girl doesn't reciprocate, or she's not into it, right? Or she doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, show, like she doesn't text me back or hit me up randomly or even try to promote to go out anywhere with me or anything like that. I take it as the girl's not interested, and then I just like cut off any energy or effort and conversation that I would have with her, and then I'll move it to the next girl, and do the same thing. It's like, okay, and then I'll just keep moving. Like, I don't even get butthurt if the girl doesn't feel the same. Why am I like that? It's not because I'm cold. It's just because of like the fact that like to put all my eggs in one basket, or like to basically like to even bother giving a girl all that effort and do that all that extra shit. It's just way too much that if there is no return on investment, you're a fucking idiot if you keep giving a girl the same thing when she might not even reciprocate that. But I understand that girls love to chase, but girls tend to forget that if you don't reciprocate anything back, every single guy is going to take it as she's not interested, and they just keep moving. The stupid thing is, I know a lot of my girls, they tell me they were interested in the guy. But most of the time, I notice most of the guys, they always say the same thing. Oh, she's not interested. And they just move along. Because I'm the same way, too. It's like, yeah, if you ain't going to reciprocate, fuck that. Like, I showed you this. And there's no offense to the girl. That's just the way that us guys take it. Like, she doesn't text me. She doesn't call me. She doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Or I try to make an effort to, like, go and hang out or, like, or anything like that after we had given some effort.
So, Anna, you were saying that you, what do you think about flirting with multiple people? You don't like it, or is it uncomfortable? Or what?
It makes me feel dirty, and like it's kind of like a lot of work, and like me personally, I don't like people. Like before in high school, I used to talk to multiple people at once. And then as I got older, I'm just like, that's dirty, in my opinion. No offense, Kay, but
What were you saying? No offense, what?
I said no offense. I think it's dirty to talk to like multiple people at once. But
for
I mean,
for a girl, yes. For a guy, no.
at the same time, it's like you're keeping your options open. That's why I used to do it, because I had my options open, and I was just seeing which one, like, who's gonna win.
Who are you gonna choose in the end?
But
I promote it for guys because I've seen a lot of my boys get hurt when they put all their eggs in one basket and just talk to one girl that they overlook and get blinded by the red
Isn't
flags.
it kind of typical though for guys to talk to more than one girl?
They start to
I
fantasize.
mean, anyhow, like to feel out.
No. In the Asian community, no.
That's true.
Most guys, once they see the one girl, they just pursue her.
Yeah, that's true.
The most. Some guys will talk to multiple girls and they'll say that they're talking to multiple girls, right? And getting to know. But the girls half the time don't even know that they're getting to know. But like the reason why I promote that with guys is because of like, if you put all your eggs in one basket, you're building a false fantasy that like most likely that you will like fantasize her so much that you oversee the red flags and you're going to get hurt if she doesn't feel the same way back. You're gonna give so much, but if you have multiple options, right, and you can kind of pick, everyone's gonna love you. Pick the one that hurts the least, and then you can kind of compare which one is gonna be like the better one out of the bunch, and then after that, make sure you cut the other ones off. Take care of your loose end, and then pursue that one that you feel as if like she's gonna most likely ultimately be the better option. That's why I always tell guys to have multiple options, because if you just favor one, trust me, it never pans out well, because you will give too much. You will act hella extra, and then the girl will get turned off by it. Now guess what happens after? See, that's why I promote that with guys. But for girls, talking to multiple guys, yes, I understand that. It feels like dirty for girls. I wouldn't promote that for girls. For girls, I always tell them that like to make sure to stop ignoring the red flags. It's like you're an idiot to just like fucking sit there and justify everything. Like you've been justifying everything for a while. If the guy is fucking bad and the other guy had the same traits, then they're most likely gonna do the same characteristic traits as every other fucking guy, right? And then every single time you want to justify it, just remember you're the idiot who's telling yourself the excuse.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like I just tell girls to start paying attention more to the traits. I don't really care about how many guys they talk to. Talking is a different story, but sleeping is a different story. Or doing the is a different story. But intimate.
I'd say like it kind of depends, like what kind of talk. Like if you're flirting, just be flirting. Yeah, I think that there's you probably want to stop that. But like, what about like dating apps and things like that? And you're going on different dates, you're talking to different people, because you are trying to find like someone that can be that companion, or potentially like a long-term relationship, or even just a situationship where it's someone you can like kick it with, right? Or hang out with and you feel comfortable. But yeah, I definitely think like if you're like flirting, like intentionally, like you're leading people on flirting, like there's something wrong with that. But I'd say that if you might have to like talk to a few people at once, but it doesn't mean like anything's going on. Let's just say you're talking to them, but it's nothing serious. So I think it kind of depends, because the dating scene can be like that, where you may be going on this date with someone and out with somebody else, especially if you're using the apps, right? Because you get to choose, like, through the dating apps or whatever, or even on social. A lot of people don't even go through the apps, and they just find people on social, and reaching out.
Like Instagram.
Yeah. Because, I think it's like a matter of keeping options open. But I do agree with Anna where it can be like, it can definitely be labeled as dirty when you're just totally like, you're flirting with everybody. It doesn't matter. Like there's just all this going on. That's too much. Like you can't be doing that, especially for girls. It can look pretty bad, right?
It does and it doesn't, to be honest with you. Like
if you know, like I guess it depends if you know.
Well, it's because of like the way that how all of us is connected now due to like social media. It's like we are going to, no matter what, all of us here, we're always going to, no matter what, have access to other people.
Yep.
Have their contact.
True.
Right. And then the fact that when you're single, people will like kind of hunt you down for that a lot, so it's the act of getting to know, the act of it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know multiple people, I don't think that's the dirty part. That's why I was gonna wait to ask Anna, like when you were saying cheating, I think you meant the act of sleeping around. That's
cheating.
the dirty part.
Cheating.
Yeah, that's the dirty part.
That.
Yeah, if you're sleeping around, that's the dirty part. If you're talking to multiple people, that's not the dirty part. If that makes sense.
It just feels dirty, in my opinion.
It feels dirty, but then if you're not touching them and you're all just getting to know multiple people at once, it's like going to work and getting to know all your colleagues. You're not sleeping with your colleagues. You're just getting to know one, and then you pick your favorite colleague, which one you want to work with the most, So then every time you go to work, that's your work buddy, because everyone else suck, but it's the same. But to the act of sleeping around, I feel like that's when it gets dirty. If that makes sense. For me personally, I feel like that's when it gets dirty on it. Like, especially for a female. For a female sleeping around like that, that's when it gets dirty.
Hey guys, thank you for listening or watching. It's Anna, and I'm signing off. Always remember, DTN, DTB for life.
She still shakes her head when she's talking.
I love it. All right, everybody. Of course, it's been good. Love being a part of In the Grave. This is Q from the Blasian Badass podcast. Follow me at Q the Blasian Badass, wherever that's going to be on the screen. But yes, it's always good to be here.
Also, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Even though we're
it's a
haters.
So I hope that this doesn't like upset the mood on Valentine's Day.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm not sorry.
Hope you all have a fun, exciting day. Of course, honestly, show love to each other every day. Make love, not war. Remember, listeners, to end a great podcast, to always stay great.